My dear friends, today I want to share something very close to my heart. Something that changed my life quietly but powerfully. Something that made English, a language that once scared me, feel like a friend I could speak to freely. And the truth is, it was not magic. It was not a sudden talent. It was just 30 minutes a day at home. Only 30 minutes, and yet it changed everything. For a long time, English was a mountain I thought I could never climb. Every time I tried to speak, I felt small. I stumbled over words, I made mistakes, and I was afraid of being judged. The fear was heavy. It made me quiet. It made me hesitate. I thought maybe I was not meant to speak English fluently. Maybe some people are born with this gift, and some of us just watch from the sidelines. But one day, I realized something. I realized that fear is only real if you give it a voice louder than your own. I realized that mistakes are not failures, they are teachers. I realized that learning is not about being perfect. It is about being brave enough to start every single day. I started with just 30 minutes, not hours, not expensive courses, not foreign teachers. Just 30 minutes at home when no one was watching. I would sit quietly in my room with a notebook and a pen. Sometimes I would read a paragraph from a book. Sometimes I would listen to a short story. And sometimes I would simply speak out loud to myself. I would repeat words, try new sentences, make mistakes, and laugh at myself. Those 30 minutes were not always easy. Some days I felt tired. Some days I wanted to quit. But I promised myself I would not stop. 30 minutes a day is small, I thought. But if I do it every day, it will grow into something bigger. And I was right. Slowly, very slowly, I started noticing changes. My words became clearer. My sentences became longer. I could understand stories better. I could read a book without stopping every few seconds. I could listen to English on the TV and follow along. I could even write my thoughts down in English without feeling stuck. These were small victories, but they felt huge to me. They felt like I was breaking free from fear. What I learned in those 30 minutes was not just about English. I learned about patience. I learned about consistency. I learned that small, quiet efforts can change your life more than loud, dramatic actions. I learned that you do not need anyone else's approval to grow. You just need to show up for yourself every single day. I want to tell you the truth about mistakes. For a long time, I hated them. I thought every mistake was a failure. But in 30 minutes a day, I learned to love mistakes. Every wrong word I said, every sentence I stumbled over, every time I pronounced something incorrectly, I learned from it. I corrected myself gently, without fear. I repeated the word until it felt natural. I learned that mistakes are the steps on the staircase of learning. Without them, you cannot climb higher. One day, I noticed something beautiful. I was speaking with someone in English, a real conversation, and I realized I was not afraid anymore. My heart was not pounding. My hands were not shaking. I was not counting my words carefully. I was just talking. I was expressing myself. I was free. And it all started from 30 minutes a day at home. I also want to tell you about courage. It takes courage to sit alone with yourself, to face your fears, and to speak when no one is listening. But that courage grows quietly. Every day you show up, every day you try, every day you speak to yourself. Courage grows like a small flame, and soon it becomes a light that cannot be hidden. Sometimes people ask me, Muniba, how did you become fluent? Did you take classes? Did you travel? Did you have a teacher who taught you every day? And I smile because my truth is simple. I did not do many things. I did one thing. I gave myself 30 minutes every day to practice, to speak, to learn, and to grow. That is all. Small action, repeated every day, becomes unstoppable. I want you to understand something very important. English, or any skill you want to learn, is not about talent. It is about time, patience, and love for yourself. When you practice regularly, your brain adapts, your mouth learns the sounds, your mind learns the grammar, your confidence grows quietly. You do not need to rush. You do not need to compare. You just need to show up. And showing up does not mean doing everything perfectly. It means trying. Some days I read a paragraph and could not understand a single word. Some days I spoke and felt my accent was wrong. Some days I wanted to give up. But I never stopped for more than one day. 30 minutes is short enough that it does not feel like a burden, but long enough to make a difference if done consistently. I also discovered another secret. Speaking to yourself is powerful. I would talk to myself about my day. I would describe what I saw, what I felt, what I thought. I would ask questions and answer them. I would practice greetings, conversations, stories, and even jokes. At first, it felt silly, but soon it became natural. I was training my brain and my mouth together. I was building confidence. I was learning to trust myself. And friends, trust yourself. That is the key. You do not need someone else to tell you you are doing well. You do not need applause. You do not need validation. You need yourself. You need your patience, your courage, and your small, consistent effort. That is more powerful than any class, any teacher, any certificate. In those 30 minutes, I also learned to listen. Listening is as important as speaking. I would listen to short stories, podcasts, or news in English. I would repeat sentences. I would copy the pronunciation. I would imitate the tone and rhythm. Listening helped me think in English. Speaking became easier. My confidence grew. And slowly, English stopped feeling like a stranger. It became familiar. It became comfortable. It became part of me. And the beauty of 30 minutes a day is that it fits into life. You do not need to stop everything. You do not need to travel. You do not need to spend money. You do not need perfect conditions. Just 30 minutes in your home, at your desk, on your couch, or even in your bed. 30 minutes is enough to start a transformation. I want to tell you about patience again, because this is where many people fail. They start, but when they do not see instant results, they quit. They think, this is not working. But learning is like planting a tree. You water it every day. You wait. You do not see growth in a day, but slowly, leaves appear. Slowly, branches grow. Slowly, the tree becomes strong. 30 minutes a day is your watering. Patience is your sunlight. Consistency is your soil. And eventually, your English will grow. Friends, I also learned gratitude in those 30 minutes. Gratitude for the chance to learn, for the ability to speak, for the courage to try. Gratitude for my mistakes, because they taught me lessons. Gratitude for myself, because I chose to show up when it was hard. Gratitude transforms effort into joy. When you are grateful, practice is not a chore. It becomes a gift. I want to tell you something else. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days, you will feel motivated. Some days, you will not. But 30 minutes is small enough that you can do it even without motivation. Show up anyway. Sit down, speak, listen, read, write. That small action is more powerful than waiting for a perfect moment. And slowly, without realizing it, you will notice a change. Your confidence will grow. Your mistakes will decrease. Your sentences will become smoother. How to English will become fluent. But most importantly, your belief in yourself will grow. You will realize that you are capable of more than you imagined. I want to tell you one last thing. This is not just about English. This is about life. 30 minutes a day teaches you discipline. 30 minutes a day teaches you courage. 30 minutes a day teaches you patience. 30 minutes a day teaches you love for yourself. The small actions you do every day, quietly, consistently, will transform not just your skills, but your entire life. So, my dear friends, start today. Sit down for 30 minutes. Speak, listen, read, write, make mistakes, laugh at yourself, and keep going. Do it for 1 week, then 2 weeks, then a month. Do not stop. Trust the process.